Okay, so we're going to get started today. So, the Most High Power, the Creator of all things, the God of the universe, the only true and living God is Yahweh, God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, the God of the 12 tribes of Israel, who sent his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, a so-called black man, to die for our sins, who the world calls Jesus Christ. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Indians, and natives in North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean are the 12 tribes of Israel that the Bible talks of, as well as those people scattered throughout the four corners of the earth in slavery. We must repent for salvation, which means to turn away from sin and turn toward the commandments of Yahweh and obey the Torah of Yahweh and believe on his Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His chosen people are the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the blacks, Hispanics, and Indians in the Americas, as well as the four corners of the earth. And in these last days, he will bring judgment to this world, as well as those individuals that have transgressed his laws, commandments, and statutes. So right now, we saw in the previous Aliyah, we're in Vayishlach, also known as Vayishlach, which is the Torah Parashah for this week. And we're in the fourth Aliyah of this particular Torah Parashah. And we're dealing with Jacob is the winner, because Jacob uses humility as well as his wit to get out of a very negative situation with his brother Esau, who is the father of the so-called Europeans. So we're going to start at verse 6 of chapter 33, where Esau has just Jacob has divided his family up into 4 different groups. He has 4 wives, and he has children with each wife. And it's a beautiful thing. So Jacob is a polygynist, but there's no special word in the Hebrew. And he's divided up his 4 wives into 4 different groups with their children. And he's presenting them before Esau in a long caravan. So we're going to start with verse 6 and pick up where we left off. And the maidservants and their children drew near and prostrated themselves, bowed down before Esau, which is the father of the so-called Europeans. And Leah and her children drew near and prostrated themselves. And after them, Joseph and Rachel drew near and prostrated themselves. And he said, what is to you the purpose of all this camp that I have met? That's what Esau is saying. And he said, Jacob said, to find favor in my master's eyes. But Esau said, I have plenty, my brother. Let what you have remain yours. So Esau tried to reject the gift. Whereupon Jacob said, please know, if indeed I have found favor in your eyes, then you shall take my gift from my hand, because I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of an angel, and you have accepted me. So he says that seeing you is like seeing the face of the power, because Esau was the power. That word angel there, for some reason, they translated it from Aliyah instead of from Malak. It said Panyakaka Ra'ath Panya Aliyah Watara Tizania. So have so it says Panya Aliyah, face of the power, the face of God. Because Esau was merciful toward Jacob and showed him some divine forgiveness. All right, verse 11. So verse 10 again. So Jacob said, man, if we're really cool and you're not tripping on me and you show me I got favor in your eyes, take these gifts. Verse 11, Jacob says, now take my gift which has been brought to you, for Aliyah has favored me with it, and because I have everything, he prevailed upon him, and he took it. So he talked Esau into taking the material things that he gave to him as gifts, mainly dealing with all of those animals. Over 260 animals he gave him. Well over 260. Verse 12, whereupon he said, travel, and we will go, and I will go alongside you. So Esau now wants to travel with Jacob. And Jacob said to him, my master knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and the cattle, which are raising their young, depend upon me. And if you overdrive them one day, all the flocks will die. But remember, Jacob was pushing those flocks kind of hard too, because Laban was chasing behind Jacob. Okay, Laban was chasing behind Jacob. But in the time that Laban was chasing behind Jacob, Jacob was 7 days ahead. Now, so Jacob's not really concerned about the flock. Jacob is concerned about Esau changing his mind and trying to do something evil toward him. That's Esau's, that's a problem Jacob has right now. And Esau is saying, come with me. Come back to Mount Seir with me. Jacob is saying, I don't want to go there. Verse 14. Now let my master go ahead before his servant, and I will move at my own slow pace, according to the pace of the work that is before me, and according to the pace of the children, until I come to Mount Seir. So Jacob is saying, you know what? I'll make it down to Mount Seir, which is south of where they are now. Whereupon Esau said, let me leave with you some of the people who are with me. But Jacob said, why do that? May I find favor in my master's eyes. Jacob's basically saying, I don't really want you to leave your people with me, either to spy on me or to go report back to you or to try to kill me. Turned on that day on his way to Seir. So Esau went back to Mount Seir without his brother Jacob. And Jacob traveled to Sukkoth and built himself a house. And for his cattle, he made booths. Therefore, he named the place Sukkoth. But I always remind people that this word Sukkoth, Sakwath, is a Sukkot, which is the Feast Tabernacle, Feast of Booths, which was a shelter, as you can see right here, that Jacob made for his cattle. It was not a tent, as people tend to dwell in the Feast of tabernacles, which is okay to do, but you also have to make a booth, which was like a wooden structure that had leaves on the top of it to protect it from the shade, and it was usually open on the four sides. This is a booth for animals to go in when it's a little warmer outside. This is what Jonah built when he came up, when he was over by Nineveh. He built a booth on the side of the wall of the building of the city, outside the city wall, to protect him from the sun. So this is like a little temporary shelter, like a palapa. So Jacob called the place Sakwath or Sukkot, which means a dwelling, small covering, support to cover. You see this? These are the first two letters of the word, Sa and Ka. Okay. So you have Samak or Semek, and you have Kop. Now Samak means support, and then Kop, that letter means covering, or the palm of your hand. So it's a structure, it's a supported structure that's covered. You can see it in the name, in the Hebrew letters that make up the word, if you know what the letters mean. Whereas these are in modern Hebrew. So you have to remember what are the ancient Hebrew words. You can do it if you just look at the letters and kind of study and meditate on them. You can do it. You have the power and the ability to do it. The Most High will bless you. You know, that's a small blessing for him to give you. It's nothing for him to let you remember what your letters look like in the paleo form, the ancient form. Okay, so Jacob named the place Sukkot, Sakwath, and he built the booth for his animals, and he made a house for himself, a more permanent structure. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is Shechem or Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came to Padan, when he came from Padan Aram, and he encamped before the city. And he bought the part of the field where he had pitched his tent from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 kesitas. There he erected an altar and named it God is the God of Israel, which is Allah, Aliyah, Yasharallah, which is the power of Israel, which is the power of Israel. Yasharallah. Kind of just got his new name and using it already, flaunting his new name, flossing with it. So the city he went to, Shechem, is just a little bit to the west, across the Jordan River from Sukkot, right here. That's the place that he went to. All right, so when he went to that place, he put up his tent, his halwa, and he was actually dwelling among the sons of Ham, right there. All right, he dwelt among the sons of Ham in this land. So his humility paid off, and his brother forgave him. And even when Esau tried to have Jacob come with him to Mount Seir, Jacob said, no, it's time for me to venture out, on my own, get my affairs together. And he didn't make it down to Mount Seir. Esau didn't come up to bother him either. But we see the animosity that Esau had is going to come out when we come up out of Egypt in a few hundred years. It's going to come out when the Esau's the children attack us. So it's not going to be all good anymore. Okay, so with the Most High is already ordained to be, so be it. In the name of Yahweh, B'Shem HaMashiach Yahushua. So you can see we were agrarian people. We dealt with livestock, cattle, flocks, herds. Okay. And we were moving together. This is kind of like making a relocation from Laban's place in southern Turkey, northern Syria, all the way down to Israel. All right. A little bit north of Jerusalem. All right. So now he's traveled. Esau tried to come and get him to come to Mount Seir, but Jacob said, I'm not really going to go to Mount Seir. But he didn't say it that way. He said, well, I'm going to go slow. I'm going to just go slow until I come to my master, the Mount Seir, is what Jacob said. Okay. So then he used that as an opportunity. So when we leave a hostile situation that was wicked, when the Most High shows us grace and deliverance through us being humble and us keeping our cool, we don't just walk right back to Esau, because Esau has something else in his heart. Who knows if Esau has something else in his heart, I should say. So as long as we stay free from sin and we stay free from that negative and evil that can attack us and cause us to fall back into, he might go on Jacob and pick up some of those characteristics and start vengeful toward Jacob. Now, this is different in situation with a husband, wife, children, and the parents. We have to work out that peace in that type of family dynamic. But Jacob's life was on the line. Jacob could have gotten killed by his brother Esau for taking that blessing from him deceitfully. Identity theft, saying that he was Esau. And he told it to his father. And Esau just gave him forgiveness. And Jacob says, I have to keep my family together. And I have to go ahead over into this other land. Put distance between myself and Esau. Okay, so that's the Torah portion for today. Jacob is playing it pretty cool now. Gave the gift to Esau, like his penance. Was sacrificed to Esau as a peace offering. Gave it to him. And once he gave it to him and he took it, then he said, you know what, it's time for me to go ahead a little slower than you. But then he made that detour toward the west didn't go south toward Mount Seir. He went toward the west, the Shechem. Okay. So that's the way it is. That story. And that's it for today. It's Aliyah on the 4th day. So hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh, your power, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh Alahayanawa, Yahweh Achad, Wahabta Ath Yahweh Alahayaka, Bakal Lababka, Wabakal Napashka, Wabakal Ma'adka. The next new moon is December 6th. Passover is April 18th. May the Most High bless you righteously as you grow in obedience, submission, respect, and honor of Him, His Son, and His laws, commandments, and statutes. Shalom, Lakam. Peace be unto you all.